How is everyone? My name is Dinesh De Silva. Big welcome. This is our last webinar for the year. We've been running webinars nearly every week from the start of COVID or the start of lockdowns, really. And big welcome to Innovation for Profitability webinar. We've had about 4,000 attendees in this time, and thank you for attending today, and thank you for everyone who's attended our previous webinars. If there's anyone new, big welcome. For those who've been here, I know some of you have been to our digital boot camps before, which is a 2-day seminar for those who are here for the first time, and other webinars. A huge welcome. Thank you for returning. It's much appreciated. I have a lot to cover today, so let's get started. So this is part of our Jumpstart Your Business 2021 program. As you know, 2020 has been a tough year. We want to wipe the memories of 2020 and get on with 2021. And here we go. Let's look at ways how we can innovate. How can we use simple innovations that can make our customers' life better and grow our businesses? As I mentioned, my name is Dinesh De Silva. I'm the founder and CEO of NetStripes. I want to run as an interactive webinar. I know a lot of us, we attend so many webinars, we have to multitask, but there's so many things to do. But I want to say one thing. There's so much I want to cover today with you, but this is not about me, this is about you. If you learn some of these techniques, if you learn some of these tips, it can have a transformational impact on your business. We've had over 5,000 face-to-face attendees at our seminars before. And if you check our YouTube site, they will tell you how some of their businesses have massively transformed. I'll be covering some of those examples as well today. So this is only for about an hour. Give me your fullest attention. And I promise you, I will give you a lot in return. Thank you. Little bit about NetStripes, so that there's some basis for us to get started. We are a tech startup. We started in 2014, and in this time, we've, as I mentioned, worked with over 5,000 business owners just before COVID, and after that, we've worked with several hundred more. For our webinars post-COVID, we've had about 4,000 people coming. Why do they come? Because we work with multiple industry associations, multiple state, local government organizations, including federal government, because NetStripes system is the premier system in the world for small and medium enterprises to transition your businesses from your traditional business models to digitally successful businesses. Now, that's important. It's even more important than today than it was 1 year before. And you know that, I don't have to tell you. It's a fast system. It is extremely affordable for small and medium enterprises. But most importantly, it delivers tangible results for business owners. Our vision has been to empower 1 million small and medium enterprises to accelerate their growth through digital innovation. We know that when we do this, your businesses grow, you create employment. Even during the pandemic, a lot of our businesses have created employment. A lot of our businesses have grown during the pandemic. Again, I'll have lots of examples there. And I know we can together create millions of jobs across the world. And there is no better time than now to improve and fuel our communities, the economies of our communities, of our states, of our nations, and we have a big role to play. We've helped business owners from across multiple industries, nearly every industry, to achieve not incremental results, but transformational growth in their businesses. I'm talking not just new businesses who achieve massive transformational growth, even businesses that are mature, even businesses that are over 15 years old have doubled their revenues in just a 12-month period. You don't have to believe me. If you go to our YouTube channel, you will see lots of business owners talking about their success. Here is a business owner who we helped to transition their business from a traditional business model to a digitally successful business. We built their digital platform now, and they're in the process of doing their professional marketing to get to another level. Again, this is Sonia Fitz. Her story is on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. Go and listen to it, because it'll give you a sense of what a business owner has to do to achieve that transformation. As most of you know, Sonia Fitz, like most businesses, tried so many things. She did 3 websites, she did SEO, she got copywriters, she did probably Google Ads, and still didn't have results. And it's frustrating, as you know. But following this system gave her massive results. Not everybody succeeds. And I can tell you that for sure. The reason for that is this is about transformation. And if, like anything, like whether we want transformation of our bodies or of our minds, when we want transformation of our businesses, it takes a decision to be made. And not everybody makes that decision, because we are on our journey and we are not ready to make that decision. And I understand that. But when you're ready and when you make that decision, then the next stage is we need to act. Lots of people make that decision, but we don't take the action, the right action. Again, we'll talk about the right action. Then how do we stay the course? Okay. Lots of people also don't stay the course because sometimes people get impatient. It's like taking a Panadol, you want instant relief. It's not like that. It takes a little while, not a long time, but a little while. In the course of a business, it's really nothing. But in a 12-month period, you will get top results. Today's session is innovation for profitability, and this is what I'll be covering. What is innovation? What is innovation from a small business perspective, from a practical perspective, something you can try even today? And what are the drivers of innovation? And what are the things that we need to look out for in the next 10 years? What are the trends that the really successful companies, your competitors, have been riding on to get that boost? How can you do that? How can you do that in an affordable way, in a fairly easy way, without really a huge investment of money and time? And how do we innovate successfully? And I'll be going through lots of success stories as well. So let's start with what's innovation. What is innovation to you? Now, if I ask you this question, a lot of people tell me innovation is thinking new things, improving stuff, being creative. I get lots of answers, but let me give you a very simple, practical definition of innovation that I have created. Innovation is making little improvements in your business on a continuous basis that makes your customers' life better. Are you with me? Let's do this again. Innovation is making little improvements in your business on a continuous basis that makes your customers' life better. And that's what's important. If you think about companies like Apple, people think of Apple as the most innovative business. You don't have to create the next iPhone. Apple didn't create the iPhone in year one. They were founded in 1974, and the iPhone was launched in 2007. How many years is that? Is that like 74 to 43 years, right? So that's how long it took Apple. But however, Apple was always known to be innovative, always known to have innovative products. Why? They made their customers' life better. And they made their customers' life better than what Apple's competitors did. As a result, people loved Apple. They had this following they created. And that's what you have to do. Let's get into this further. Okay. When we think of innovation, man landed on the moon in 1969. That was quite a long time ago. I think it was 51 years. We celebrated 50 years, I think, last year. Now, if you think about it, if you ask somebody in 1969, by 2020, would man conquer space? Most people would say, absolutely, we're going to conquer space. That's a big, in 50 years' time, we will conquer space because there was this huge space program. The Russians were doing it, the Americans, of course, did it. The Chinese probably had a program. And there was this race. India had something, I think. I'm not Indian, but I think India had something. However, nobody would have guessed what was going to happen was the internet. Nobody would have guessed there was this little device, like a little bigger than a credit card, mind you, that we could take and telephone somebody or talk to somebody and see them across the world, across the planet. We could share images and videos and pictures with them. Nobody would have even seen a need. Nobody would have even guessed there was going to be this term called a selfie. If you told people there was this thing called a selfie, they probably wouldn't have believed. And that's what happened. And that's the innovation that has really transformed our lifestyle. It has completely transformed our lifestyles. And what is driving this acceleration, this rapid acceleration? That's what we have to consider, okay? And what's driving this acceleration is called the Moore's Law. You might think, oh my goodness, we're getting technical here. I'm not getting technical, but I just want to share this with you because it's so important, right? The number of transistors on a microchip doubles about every 2 years. That's what Gordon Moore, he was the founder of Intel. Intel Inside, you would have heard, Intel is the microprocessor that powers nearly all the computers of the world today. And when Gordon Moore said this, he said the number of transistors on a microchip is going to double nearly every 2 years. That means the power of computing is going to double over 2 years, and the cost is going to be halved. Now, what's the significance of this? So what? So what? Let me go through a few examples in a little while as I share some stats with you, because I'm going to, this is the principle I'm going to prove why innovation is so valuable. Computing cost is going down. That's what Gordon Moore said, right? And that was the death of companies like Kodak. When Kodak invented the digital camera in 1970, 74, I think, the board on the senior management looked at this and thought, this is crap. The quality is nowhere near what we need. This is crap. The quality is nowhere near what our customers need. But they didn't understand Moore's law. And if they did understand Moore's law, today Kodak would not be a dead company. Bandwidth cost performance is going down to near zero levels. Bandwidth used to be expensive. This is the bandwidth that we all want, is getting so cheap, right? And it's less than $1 now, right? So, and this has created massive issues. It has created the rise of companies, and it has really destroyed other companies that haven't been able to understand Moore's law at the extent of the likes of Apple. You've heard of Netflix. You've heard of Blockbuster. What happened to Blockbuster? Netflix, in fact, went to Blockbuster with begging bowl in hand in 2000 or 2001, mind you. And the Netflix founder and the current CEO, who was a co-founder and an early investor, the two of them went. And I think there was one other Netflix person who went. Together, these three went, and the Blockbuster people laughed at them. I'm telling you, they laughed at them when Netflix said, can you pay 50 million for us and buy us? Blockbuster was a global company. They were having magnificent headquarters in the nicest cities in the world. Why would they even consider this startup? What happened? Today, Netflix is worth 226 billion as of yesterday when I checked those figures. And what happened to Blockbuster? They went bankrupt in 2010. Arrogance, inability to understand Moore's law. Okay, so where am I getting it? I'm not interested in Netflix. I'm not interested in Blockbuster, but I'm interested in you. I'm interested in your business. So how do we now take these small businesses like yours, using the power of the Moore's law, using the power of the reducing bandwidth, reducing storage costs, reducing computational power, and take your business and create transformational growth using innovations that are going to happen now, that is happening now, and that will happen in the next 5 to 10 years. I did say storage cost is going down. You know that storage cost is at near zero. How expensive was it to go and buy those storage devices those days? Now you can buy a terabyte for next to nothing, isn't it? And if it's on the cloud, it's even cheaper. So you don't even need to buy those devices. I have so many of these USB devices that I don't even use. Why do I need them? Dropbox is nearly free. And it is free, isn't it, for a long time? So is Google storage, right? Then if you pay them, you get a lot more again for free. Unfortunately, a lot of the businesses who didn't understand this trend, who didn't understand this shift, the companies like the big brands that you know, and I've just only got a few here, right? While Dropbox and the likes of Apple and iTunes have really flourished, companies like Bose have closed their retail stores across the world. EB Games, you'd think they'd survive. They were a fairly tech company. They have failed. So you can go through and see the number of businesses that have missed the bus because they haven't understood these trends. So what's the lesson here? Inability to change from our traditional ways of doing business in the face of change. This is in rapid face of change is the height of risk, the height of business risk. We are, during this pandemic, in the height of change. And we need to be proactive. We need to at least react fast. And adaptability is really king today. It is not the survival of the fittest anymore, it is the survival of the fastest. So how do what's lesson 3? It's to act with speed. Act with speed. Get the knowledge. As business owners, there's a huge knowledge gap. I have worked, as I mentioned, my team and I have worked with over 5,000 business owners. This is pre-COVID, small and medium enterprise owners, by the way. There's a huge knowledge gap. And one of the biggest things you need to do is to address that. Get the knowledge you need, and it's not hard to do. And we'll discuss how you can get that. Get the right help, but before that, strategize. What your impact in your industry is going to happen, what's happening now and what's happening in the future. YouTube is a really good way of doing it. There are other ways, and we'll discuss that. So what's going to happen in the next 10 years? What is going to happen in the next 10 years? What are the drivers? What are the tech drivers at play. Connectivity is a catch-all statement. I'll come to that. Artificial intelligence, I don't have to tell you that. You know it. AI is going to be the next frontier. If the internet was the frontier that a lot of us missed, the likes of Alibaba, the Amazon, and all these businesses, they just latched onto the internet, the likes of Netflix, and they grew their businesses. However, lots of people miss that. If you missed it too, not to worry. Artificial intelligence is the next frontier. Virtual reality and augmented reality, connectivity. There are lots happening. There are a lot of waves that you can catch. And let's have a look at these waves. Convergence of these technologies. So I spoke about AI, but apart from AI, there are going to be sensors, trillions of sensors across the world that are going to be connected. You have Google Homes, and you have all these devices that we wear, the wearables as they call it, connected devices on our fridges, on our barbecues. One of my friends bought a barbecue that is connected, and what happens is there's a sensor. I'm sure some of you will know, when you put it onto the meat, it tells you on your phone app that when the meat is done. How cool is that? You might think, why do I need that? But if you really want it done perfectly, I'm not a good cook, so I can't tell you how to do stuff, but I'm told this is the best way to do it. And look, refrigerators, car alarms, our cars come with over 400 sensors today. Okay, so the networks, robotics, 3D printing. 3D printing is going to bring manufacturing locally. We know the dangers during this pandemic of global manufacturing and globalization and waiting on China to deliver the goods. Manufacturing is going to be more local, more suburban because of 3D printing. And sometimes some of this manufacturing, in the years to come, we might create our own T-shirts because we'll have our 3D printers and we won't have to have our wardrobes. Now that is a bit away, but these things happen way faster than we think. Okay, synthetic biology and blockchain, I'm not going to go into that, but all these technologies converging is what creates new business models and new ecosystems. All right, the other thing that you're seeing now, and you'll see a lot more of, is 5G. But more importantly, Elon Musk has this SpaceX's Starlink program. What they're doing is they're trying to give Wi-Fi to the entire world. Okay, and they're having this Starlink program, which is going to have nearly 12,000 satellites, micro satellites, across the world by 2024. Imagine that. And not only Elon Musk, Google are having initiatives, Facebook are having initiatives, and of course, Amazon has their Blue Horizon initiative. So these guys have a lot of money, and they're spending it to create connectivity, to connect the world. Now, you might ask, what the hell why do we need this? What's going to happen is currently, nearly 50% of the world is not connected. This 50% of the world, when they get connected, it's going to grow the markets. It's going to massively, nearly double, or sometimes even triple the markets. Because when you have greater connectivity, it doesn't double. There's exponential growth that happens. Now think about this. For instance, one of our friends, they have a little baby, actually a family member, but their relatives, their grandparents who are across the world today, due to technology, due to video, due to FaceTime, can experience this baby. Now imagine that. And during the pandemic, what else could you do? Now, virtual reality and augmented reality is going to bring this feeling even closer. Are you with me? So these technologies are available. Now, what are the business opportunities for your business that will arise from this? How do you know? I'll tell you. You go to YouTube. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. And you go and type in, if you're in the travel industry, artificial intelligence in travel industry, artificial intelligence in the building industry, if you're in the building industry, artificial intelligence in law, if you're in the legal industry, in architecture. And you will learn, and once you start searching for stuff, YouTube has its own artificial intelligence, AI, and it'll keep delivering more and more stuff that you're interested in. Are you with me? And that's how everything changes. I'm taking a bit of time here because these are important. And it's not just people being connected. There are trillions of connected devices, as I said earlier. Now, this is going to create a world where people will have greater knowledge because there's going to have greater access. Not just greater knowledge. Imagine most of you will know Tony Robbins. Of course, you'll know Einstein, and of course, you'll know Gandhi. Imagine being able to ask Gandhi a question and Gandhi gives you the reply. Imagine that. Imagine you being able to ask Einstein a question. Now I can tell you that facility is now available because they've digitized Tony Robbins. And this computer can answer anything that in a way, Tony Robbins would, because it's gone and studied Tony Robbins. Nearly every speech is given, every conference is done, and it's taken 9 months to do it. Now that it's done, you can replicate it because it's digitized, free of charge. Every copy is free. That's correct. And the next person they digitized took 3 months. So you can imagine the growth in knowledge that's going to happen across the world. Imagine that. Human longevity and health span will increase. 100 will be the new 60. You might ask in this pandemic, Dinesh, how are you saying that? Because of all these senses, because of all the diagnostic advancements in health tech. Then there's $1 trillion industry in the health tech area that's about to happen. You don't have to believe me, read The Economist, the most current Economist that came out today or this week anyway. It's amazing, okay? But if you're in that industry, how will you learn it? Go to YouTube, do research, read books, talk to the experts. And all this is creating what's called acceleration of acceleration. There's computational abundance I spoke about. There's going to be communication abundance. It's free. Demonetization, demonetizing technology, and it's dematerializing of things. You know, I just spoke about Tony Robbins conferences will be dematerialized. You don't have to go to the conference. You don't have to meet Tony Robbins. He's been dematerialized. It's digitized. You can ask him that question. We have gyms that have dematerialized. I used to run a 2-day boot camp, and it took me 2 days. We had to do all these events, etc. We've dematerialized it, and we've created an online learning program that so many people have enjoyed it. And before, we had over 3,000 people coming to our events, and I'd have to travel and fly to places to run these events. I don't do that anymore because we have dematerialized it. What can you do? It's not about me. It's not about Tony Robbins. It's about you. Okay. Increasing genius. We spoke about capital abundance. There is an abundance of capital. I'll give you an example now. And time abundance is we're going to have more time. We're going to have a lot more time. But we have to be disciplined if you want to take advantage of that. If you want to know more, have a read of this book. It's a fabulous book by Peter Diamandis, great guy. Peter Diamandis was inspired by a guy called Arthur C. Clarke, who wrote 2001: Space Odyssey. In fact, Arthur Clarke lived in the next suburb to the suburb I lived. We were family friends, and I've been to his house many times. Unfortunately, I was only about 15, and I didn't understand the value of Arthur Clarke. I used to think he was a boring man, but Peter Diamandis was completely inspired by him. He Peter created the International Space Center, Space University. He works with the likes of Elon Musk and all the Google guys, and his book is very inspiring. By the way, this is not an advert for the book. I'm just a reader of the book. So what? You might say, so what? What is the meaning of all this? Let me start with one slide. Today, to go from an idea to $1 billion company happens way faster. You might think, I don't want to create $1 billion company. That's fine. But what's the size of the company you want to create? What do you want to achieve? Of course, you might say it's not about money, but finance. Money is an important part of running a business. You need to have financial goals. And how successful can you make your business so that you can achieve your vision for you and your family? It's way faster now than it was before, but it's also way competitive. So you got to do it right. Have a look at this. This slide will show you that these are some of the biggest disruptors. There are a few things you will see. These guys are all facilitators. They don't carry inventory. They don't really own their assets, do they? They use other people's assets, what's called leveraged assets. But one thing is for sure, every one of these businesses have completely transformed the customer experience in every one of their industries. Think about it. They've completely transformed the customer experience in every industry that they've operated in. Think about Uber. Taxi industry gave terrible service. Uber completely transformed that. Taxis were dirty. They wouldn't stop when you hail them. When you call them to book one, they were rude or you had to hang on. None of that. We even know what time the Uber is coming, and if it's more than 5 minutes or 10 minutes, we cancel it, don't we? And that's the experience they've transformed. Okay, and every one of these businesses have transform their customer experience. My question to you is, how can you transform your customer's experience? It's not about them, it's about us, it's about you. A lot of those businesses that you saw, Uber, Airbnb, they started post-GFC, including the iPhone was invented just before the GFC. The App Store really took off after that. Facebook really took off after that. All right, so these businesses are post-GFC. A lot of these best startups in the world have happened after the GFC. So with crisis, there is opportunity. And that's what I want you to remember. When people are crying gloom, I want you to think otherwise. What is the opportunity that this crisis is presenting? Let's think about that. Maybe you can ponder over that. Right, digital acceleration. I'm going to give you some tips of innovation. All those businesses, they use these 10 things to create the acceleration. The Ubers, the Airbnbs, these marketplaces, they use these tools of digital acceleration. But I will also share with you how a couple of small businesses that we have worked with have done it successfully and fabulously successfully at that. Even during the pandemic, especially during the pandemic. All right, digital acceleration. There are 10 factors. We call them, on one side, external factors, and we call them scale. On the other side, we call them internal factors, and we call them ideas. And hopefully, scale and ideas, you'll be able to remember them. So let's go through scale. Staff on demand. So Uber, they have staff on demand. Crowd, they mobilize the crowd and the community to get customers, but also to get staff, okay? They use algorithms. So they use algorithms. So if you call an Uber, the algorithm will find the driver who's closest to us, who is not on a trip, and will get them coming to us. And because they use technology in this algorithm, they can tell us how long it's going to take. okay? And of course, it's a bit more complicated than that, but algorithms are about computer formulae. Don't let it mess you up, get complicated. Lots of technologists love to complicate things. I want you to think of it as a simple formula that you can create or somebody can create for you for your industry, okay? All right, leverage assets. Uber, they leverage somebody else's car. Airbnb, they leverage somebody else's house or bedroom or even what do you call it, a tree home or a tree house or a boat for some, not Airbnb, but they can even do that, right? They, of course, they have leveraged assets because they use somebody else's assets. Engagement. They have massive engagement of their communities and they focus on that, okay? So there you go. Those are the external factors. Now, what can you do internally? And we call them ideas, starting with I, internal ideas, okay? So remember, scale for external to grow, okay? Internal is about ideas, okay? Interface, they have an interface, which is the app. So you don't need to have an app. You can have a website of some sort if it's your business. I'll show you an example of a small business who just did that. They have a dashboard, okay? Of course, when an Uber driver looks at their dashboard, he can see how many trips they've done, how much he's earned, how many days he's worked, and all that information. And that's what the dashboard provides. And for the guys at Uber who run the business can see how many drivers are on the jobs, how much money they have earned today, how much money they've earned yesterday, etc., and how much money they've earned overall, I guess. Okay, so that's what the dashboard has to give. And of course, the other important metrics is customer satisfaction. Each driver gets a rating, as you know, and the Uber guys can probably see who the drivers are who are not doing a good job so that they can get them off the platform. Experimentation. All these businesses, they're innovators, so they're constantly experimenting. They're trialing, testing a few things, and that's an important part of innovation. Autonomy, the drivers have autonomy to drive at the times they want, drive their own cars, clean their cars at the time they want, and they have the power to do that. So autonomy is important. And they use social technology, as you know, all these social technologies like Facebook and Instagram and all the other techs to drive their business, and even G Suite or the Google spreadsheets and Google Forms, they're all part of this whole social technology paradigm. So hopefully I've shared with you some theory, but I've also kind of related it to some live examples that you'll be familiar with. Now, I want you to consider how you can use some of this for your innovations or for those ideas that you may think of as you imagine stuff for your industry. Now, I don't want you to get too stressed about it because you don't need to use all 10. You can start with 4. You can start with 1, of course, but if you have 4 or 5, you're well on your way, okay? How do you build an exponential organization? That's how you do it, using this type of formula. And there's a great book. Again, Peter Diamandis and his team have been behind this. Peter Diamandis has forwarded it. It's written by Salim Ismail. And the great guys, I have this, it comes in 2 versions. I have both books. One is a handbook and the other one is another book just that you read. The handbook, of course, is exercises and how to do stuff, and it's useful by one of them. Yeah, and if you are on Audible, you can get an audio book, and it's easy to read. So if you're on a run or doing exercises or in the gym, while doing that, you can also listen to it. Actually, I do a lot of that. So here are some small businesses who really done some simple innovations and grown their businesses. This is Shay King. He grew his business from scratch, from zero, as he started his business to well over $1 million. And he, I think, did $1 million little over a year, okay? And then he further grew that business in the next financial year. He and his partner, Sam Clist, they're on our YouTube channel. Go and listen to them, listen to their story. It's really interesting. Some of the things they had to think through at the beginning, how nervous they felt when they were leaving their businesses to start, or leaving their day job to start the business. It's a risk, isn't it? But if you get it right, if you follow a process, you can make change. What are the innovations they made? They were a corporate event management system. They created the credibility and the trust they needed on their digital platform, but also they supported the digital platform with online ordering so that people can order for their events. Okay, and a few other innovations that were in the back end that were crucial to their success. Here's a doctor. In 2015, we helped him to do the first telehealth business in Australia. His name's Dr. Sachin Patel. He's very well known now. He sold the business in about 3 years. In the first year, he grew it so much that he had to hire 10 doctors. Again, it's about getting a strategy right. It's about taking the right action at the right time. He also got the right knowledge. So get the knowledge, get the strategy, and then take the action and get the right help. We were very happy to support Dr. Sachin Patel, and he's on video talking about how he was expecting to spend over 100,000 to build this whole program, and he built it at a tenth of the cost or something like that, which at the time, this was about 5 years ago. This is Anne-Marie Cade. Anne-Marie Cade was a lawyer, sole practitioner, is one of the most known as one of the top legal innovators in the world. A British magazine named her as one of the top legal innovators in the world, and we were very proud of the results she's got. Again, she did simple things like creating online forms, using online forms that are so cheap to do. Again, we helped her to do that, and that became an online will. Okay, so she was one of the first to come up with online wills, and then she sold this business, by the way, again to another company, and now she is doing something else. Again, in 2000, Anne-Marie has sent us information in 2020 during a really tough year. She won the Churchill Fellowship. She won the Australia Law Awards in 2019, a finalist again in 2020. Top 8 women in legal tech in Australia in 2018 or something like that. So again, a lot of brand is out there. You can grow a magnificent brand. This lady ran a gym, struggled for 2 years. Again, go to YouTube and listen to her story. And listen to how she, after struggling for over 18 months or 2 years, suddenly, bang, like a switch went off. Okay, and you will see she got the knowledge, one switch went off, then she got a strategy right, another switch went off, and these have not like a switch going off, it has an impact on revenue. Okay, and she tripled the revenues in 18 months. There's some more detail because there's some fresh off the press information about Sonia Ray, who runs Sterling Results Fitness Club. She expects to grow her business by 100% this financial year, in the year of a pandemic. Imagine a gym doing that. Why? She's digitized her business, dematerialized it. It doesn't cost her a cent to add new customers onto a platform now. Amazing. And she has dematerialized it, and I'll just go through it in more detail. By the way, Sonia Ray yesterday informed that she won this national award, the Small Business Award, or the My Business Awards for 2020, for Fitness and Wellbeing Business of the Year. Amazing. This is a single woman who created a business, who struggled for 3 years, got her process right, but she's hardworking, she's relentless, she's very intelligent, and she's very hardworking. I want to say something. Most business owners we know, you guys understand your industry so well because you have been in your industries for 10, 20 years. And you know what works, and you also know what sucks in your industries. And there lies the the opportunity to create massive change and improvement. All you need is you need to empower yourselves with the right knowledge, the strategies and the tools of innovation, and it's like a magic that goes off. And that's what happened to every one of these business owners. So Sonia Ray, this is a website, by the way. When COVID happened, she had to pivot. She went and create, as you know, a call to action looks like this. This pink area is the call to action. She had to go and change it to look like that. Due to COVID, all our classes are virtual. Download setup guide here, how to set up and join the virtual fitness classes. That's what she did. Quickly pivoted, bang, and took a business online. And people are doing classes through Zoom. What do you think happened? By the way, immediately after she was able to fix it with the help of our teams, and we fixed it for her. But most importantly, this is what her second page looked like. It looked professional, and then you can see all her classes online and book online. And when you go to book online, that's what you do. Simple stuff, guys, right? What she's done is she's completely dematerialized her business. And completely digitized. So, and she's leveraging other people's assets. So people are doing the classes from their homes, and she's getting other people. Earlier, she had a gym in her garage. I'm telling you, in a garage in Willoughby in Sydney. And she would run her gym and run classes from there. And she did everything. And she did hiking classes as well. And she took people hiking. Now, with the pandemic, she couldn't do a lot of that. So she took it, she digitized it. But what happened was the other gyms closed. So she had all these instructors who did yoga and Pilates and all this stuff, other stuff she didn't know and she couldn't do, working for her, running classes. And all she had to do was to add the classes here. Are you with me? That's how fast you pivot, but you need to get your digital platform right. It's not just getting your website. Everybody has a website. This is about getting your branding right, making your messaging right. Everything has to fit in. Don't go and change your website and do stuff. You won't get it. You have to follow a process. All right. So the tips: use software that can help automate and provide self-service to customers. Add-on software where is not expensive. Create new products and services to meet the new needs of your customers. Again, new needs are constantly arising with changes in technology, changes in circumstance, as we've seen with COVID, but just also technology drives change. Consumer behavior is continually being changed. We got to understand that. So digital acceleration of a business of COVID, I spoke about. She created online programs. She added new programs. She had lots of attendees. People from not only Willoughby, mind you, from nationally, she had customers coming from. Imagine that. So that's why she's growing her business. 100% revenue year on year, even during a year of the pandemic. There you go, okay? And this is what Sonia Ray did. She had staff on demand. She used the crowd and community. Through Facebook. She leveraged other people's assets. In this case, her customers' laptops and customers doing it through their homes. Engaged the community really well. She communicated beautifully through email, through Facebook, and through video. Her interface was the website I just showed you. So it was a simple interface, but it was professional. If you go in there, everything works. Earlier, she had 2 different websites. That didn't work. So it's not about a website. It's creating a digital platform for your business that has the right branding, that also can compete with the likes of Fitness First. In this case, Anytime Fitness and all these other fitness brands. Earlier, she was getting smashed in the first 2 years because her business was competing with all these people. Today, she stands apart from that competition. That's strategy. And it's also branding. And all that is then brought across into creating a website. The mistakes people do is they just go into a website and that doesn't deliver results. As as what happened to Sonia in the first 2 years. Okay, we did this, we've done that. So it's not about Sonia Ray, is it? It's about you. So why not you? How can you make that difference? This is about you. How can you use technology? How can you use your knowledge of your industry to make that change? That is significant. And we all want change. We all want innovation. We all say yes to innovation. Unfortunately, we are creatures of habit, aren't we? All of us are creatures of habit, and that's where we get stuck. How do we now make a conscious effort to change? Let me tell you. It's simple. All you need to do is you go to your calendar and you allocate 1 hour or 2 hours every week for innovation. If you do that and you be disciplined about allocating your time for that every week at that time, no telephones, no distractions, just for that purpose, you will see a huge difference. That's what it takes. So people say yes to innovation, but it ends up being a great intention. Make it happen today. Book time in your calendar. Book it now if you can, if you have your calendar there. Book a chunky 2 hours slot. I do it. I do it all the time. We at NetStripes practice what we preach. I do it on a Saturday morning. I spend 2 hours. I go to this cafe on a Saturday morning, and that's my thinking time. And I don't answer phones. Nobody calls me at that time. I just do that. So commit to reinvent and futurize your business. Commit to reinvent and futurize your business. Why? It's very profitable. From an idea to $1 billion, it is so much faster now. Okay, so do that. So many businesses have done it. You can do it. You don't need to create $1 billion, do you? It depends on your goal. Nobody needs to create the next $1 billion business if they don't want to. But what is your goal? Focus on that and achieve it. If you do it well, it's not that hard. The biggest issue small businesses have is we're doing it tough. We're doing it the hard way. We don't have to do it the hard way. If we follow a process in a disciplined way, we have helped so many customers to make massive change. Go to YouTube. There's a videographer. I'm a young person in his 20s when they came to us, who made massive leaps and bounds, also in the process got married, and their business and life has changed as well. Watch that on YouTube. Great guy, Orville Taggart, and his wife, Michelle, amazing people. Michelle also ran another business, was our customer. Michelle sent Orville to us, and their business has changed a lot. Innovation tips. Here are some simple innovation tips that I'm going to go through pretty fast though, okay? A customer portal, online forms. A customer portal is where you keep all your customer information, where customers don't have to go looking for information. You don't have to go looking for information. If you're a legal firm or an accounting firm, this is a very important area of your business, that you can have you can give your customers access to their information. All they have to do is log in and they find all the stuff they need. It's not expensive to do. And once done, you take a whole lot of manual work. Otherwise, you'll be having customers calling you all the time and saying, can I have that copy of that deed? Can I have the copy of that tax return? Can I have that copy of that report? Who has the time to deliver this? Imagine if you're a 10-year-old business or a 5-year-old business and you're getting these constant demands on your time. You can't do it. Online forms. We spoke about that lady who used online forms to create online wills. Okay, what can you do with online forms? It's a simple online form where people enter data. And that became an online will because you use that form and you support it with workflow, intelligent workflow that delivers a result to the customer and to your business. And you can charge him for the compliment through online payment. Pretty cool, eh? One single offer, I'll come to that. Keep stuff online so that when people are calling, they don't have to call you all the time and make your life hell. And they don't have to waste their time calling you because they can find everything online. I'll give you a nice example of that. There's a whole lot of other stuff. I'm sure you've read it by now. Okay. So key stuff online. I'm going to start. I'm going to start with one single offer. This is Dr. Sick Note, that gentleman, the doctor I said, who hired 10 doctors in their first year. This was the first telehealth business he built. They've changed their names since then. This is how they launched, by the way, and that's why I kept it. People used to waste their time going to doctors to get just a medical certificate because they worked in the corporate sector or they worked in the government sector and they were sick. They had genuinely down with the flu. And when you're genuinely down with the flu, you know, as well as anyone else, you can't even get out of bed, but you have to drag yourself out of bed. You've got to have a shower. You've got to drive the car, stay in the waiting room, get more sick, just to get a signal. Then who pays for it? The government pays for it through Medicare. And this is an absolute, what do you call it? The most inefficient, archaic things that we all do. This doctor thought this is mindless because he came from England and he felt this Medicare system was paying just too much money only for sick notes across the country. And he realized that just for nasal problems and bronchial or throat-related problems, that they can be diagnosed through video. And video can diagnose nasal and throat-related things pretty well, but he can't diagnose headaches and stomach aches and other ailments. So he created a solution to give sick notes for only people who had throat-related issues and nasal issues. Are you with me? So because that strategy meant that he could clearly diagnose them, there were no legal issues. And we had to make sure that he got his legal approvals, etc., because that was important. He had to go to the AMA. It was a huge process. Telehealth wasn't on in this country as we have today because of the pandemic. There was no pandemic then. And that's what we did, grow the business. 10 doctors in the first year, I think 20 doctors in the second year, he sold the business. Small investment. We spoke about online forms. This was the business who did online forms. This company was something else. These guys, husband and wife team, husband is out there doing work, wife is in the office handling the phones, and she hated her job. Why? Every day from morning till evening, she used to get calls coming because they were a 30-year-old business and they used to do security intercom systems, and they were getting calls from all their tradies who were doing repairs asking for wiring diagrams. Imagine Marina, who was a wife, hated her job, and because imagine taking calls and say, "Yeah, I'll email that, I'll fax that in." This is even some time ago, right? And it was so archaic the way they ran their business. I'll email that. I'll send a photograph, and this is all they do. So they go look for the wiring diagram, and the wiring diagrams are that long. You go searching for the right one, would never find the wiring diagrams. What happened was they used to operate like this. This is how their website was. Then they wanted to change their branding because I think they were considering selling their business or they had got some advice about changing their branding, the way they wrote, the way they went out to market. They didn't do it to grow their business because they already were ready to retire and they were fairly advanced in their life. Let's put it that way. And they didn't need more money. And so when they improved their branding, one thing they did was they put all the wiring diagrams online. Yes, all the wiring diagrams went online, every one of them. No more telephone calls because every tradie can find the wiring diagrams without a telephone call. And look at the advantage for the tradies. They don't have to wait till 9 o'clock till the office opens, hang on, wait online till Marina finishes the call, listening to some music or whatever. They got what they want. So customer service enhanced massively. What happened to Marina? She didn't have to answer phones anymore. She went on a cruise. True story. She actually went on a cruise. But the first cruise she did, she got hooked on cruises, and I think she did several after that. So that's a real story, okay? The beauty of that was they also had a family member helping them. And that family member went and got another job, and the company saved that money. Imagine how much money you would save even on an admin person, just by putting things online. Here is a great business they call Aussie Chill Out. Great guy, David, often is on our webinars. David, if you're there, David Harris, big welcome to you, mate. You're a great guy. David has properties, accommodation properties. I met him in Cessna when I ran a digital boot camp. And he said, look, I understand this. I want to get digitized. I want to make my business digital. Now, David can put not only his properties, he can put any other property online. And what you see here is an AI assisted contact us form. David is super smart, and all his properties are here. Well done, David. David is one of these people who's constantly trying to increase his knowledge. He's always in our webinars, talking to our people. That's what you got to do. Okay, to transform your business. Okay, so we've done this. We've gone through that. So where do you start? Where do you start? This is where you start. Today, we're here in awareness. It's about understanding, getting an awareness of what needs to do. But it takes a bit more than awareness to really get it right. And that's what all those people who I spoke of, those examples I gave you, and more, others I haven't spoke of, have done. There's a huge knowledge gap with business when it comes to knowing exactly what you must do to succeed online. You know, which customers should you serve? Which customers should you not stop serving? And when you stop serving these customers, how do you know which ones are the right ones to stop serving? They are the tie kickers. They're wasting your time. And it's so important to stop serving them so that you can concentrate on your ideal customers. And then how do you fine tune your products and services using innovation to ideally suit these customers? That's what you need to know. How do you then stand apart from your competition like Sonia Ray did? Because earlier she was butting heads with fitness first and anytime fitness. And she had a gym in the garage. Impossible to compete. As soon as she understood that, stood apart from a competition, because by getting a knowledge and strategy right, that's what happens. So she first got this knowledge right, then she got a strategy right. Again, watch Sonia Ray's YouTube videos. She'll tell you how one jump of revenue as the knowledge went up, because she did stuff knowing things. And then when she got the strategy right, another jump. Then she got her online branding and the online brand design right. So that when people saw her online, they got a message like that. She went from any gym, website saying, anybody wanting to become healthy, come to us, to being, her tagline went, fit and fabulous. Sorry, over 50. Let me get fit and fabulous and over 50. That's it for women. Fit and fabulous and over 50 for women. And suddenly she was very clear who her ideal customer was. She was very clear who's not her customer. Her messaging was very clear, and that got into her brand. That branding and that strategy had now to be depicted on a website. That becomes a digital platform, not any website. Then you take innovation to make sure you digitize and do simple innovations to change your business. And then only you launch and promote and spend money and time marketing. Until then, all the money and time you market, driving traffic to your website goes down the drain. That's what happens to a lot of your businesses. That's what happens to a lot of small businesses, small and medium-sized businesses. That's what happened to Sonia Ray. And she stopped doing that, driving traffic to a website that didn't convert, because she got that process right. That's where you start, okay? Here's Sonia Ray's process. She went from struggle period to success. She struggled for 2 to 3 years, I think, and then she went from struggle to success in a 12-month period. In 18 months, she tripled the revenue. Okay, so once she did these 4 steps, she launched and promoted in the right channels, not everywhere, in the right channels, and saving a valuable time and money. She only promoted in a particular place that took a little time and cost $125 for the year. That I'm telling you. And she tripled the revenue. So if you get this process right, you save money and time marketing. Okay, and what you do is you use data, and then it's not opinion, you use data and you review and improve. That's what you can do online, and that's why you need to get this knowledge, how to look at data and to review and improve and go through this process until you achieve your financial goals. Everything you do must be focused on your goal, business goal. A lot of you, I know, because I met so many of you, met over 5,000, my team and I have met over 5,000 business owners. And a lot of you don't have clear financial goals. So go and set your absolutely clear financial goals. When you set a clear financial goal, you can set your strategy, okay, to get there. It's like getting into a car. If you don't have a clear financial goal, it's like getting into a car and not knowing where you're going to set your navigation. Are you with me? Very important. Okay. So once you get that done, I'm going to give you a few different steps. So this digital competence and digital strategy is this part here. Okay, that's this part. This takes you only 6 hours to get the knowledge. I'm telling you, only 6 hours. Otherwise, you'll take a lifetime. You'll be watching hundreds of hours of YouTube, because we've created this online platform, which over 3,000 people attended as a live event. And I think there was 94% satisfaction at that. Again, go to YouTube and see what people say about it. And now it's only 6 hours, plus you get 1 hour of strategy to get that done, okay? Then what you do is you go and build your digital infrastructure. These 2 steps is the digital infrastructure. This part is the professional marketing you got to do, looking at the data and review and improve, okay? So this is the build the digital infrastructure. That's the ongoing promotion that you need to do. Doesn't take time. Do it right, and you'll have massive results. Okay, so we call that knowledge program and the strategy piece Futurize Foundation, okay? It's something every business should do. If you're starting a business, you should do it. It's a no-brainer. Once you've done that, you go and build your digital infrastructure. How do you do it? Get your strategic framework right. Then get your design and user experience right, so that when customers come in, instantly they understand what you're about. In 2 to 4 seconds, they make decisions, right? And then go and build a website. A lot of people miss these steps and you don't get results, okay? Then only you go and do your promotional strategy and training. Again, we can help you to build this competence within your business. It takes 7 hours, and one of our experts will sit down with you. I'm telling you, they'll sit down with you until it is ingrained in your business. So, and this stuff is not expensive. I'm telling you, it's all tax deductible. It's not expensive. And if you don't like it, you get your money back as well. And there's a lot of money back guarantee in the work we do, because why? We're commercial people. We understand if it's not for you, you need to get your money back. And if you might not be the right customer for us as well, and that is an important decision everybody needs to make. Futurize Foundation is that program I told you about. It's in 4 modules. The first module is reinventing your business in troubled times. We are in troubled times. How do you reinvent your business innovatively? How do you create a strong digital presence so that customers, when they see you online, there's instant trust and credibility. There's trust and credibility, and they want to interact with you. They want to buy from you. They want to do business with you. And they become a lead, and then you can transition that to a customer. It's our customers, as you know, that give us repeat business and leads, other referrals, and that's important. How do you create customer strategies for online success? This is probably the most important part. This is the part a lot of businesses don't get right, and you must get right. Again, I shared Sonia Fitt's video, which is on YouTube. I'll actually go to YouTube, and I'll probably show you some of these videos. Let me go to the NetStripes YouTube channel. All right. Can everybody, hands up? Can you see my screen, the YouTube? Hands up, please. All right, thank you. All right, great. So this is Sonia Fitz, okay? That's the lady I was talking about, how she went through that journey, and she came to a seminar like you've done, and then she went through the journey, and she's really transitioned fast, and she's a very accomplished businesswoman, very accomplished. She advises other businesses, but her journey has been so valuable to her, and I'll try and listen to Sonia Fitz. This is Orville Taggart, who's that videographer. He was a chartered accountant. He was not just somebody who didn't have a job. He changed his profession from being a chartered accountant to take videography as a business. A very smart man. Go and listen to him. This is Maggie Joe. She's the managing director of Amazon. She's talking about how Aussie businesses can export to Southeast Asia and China. I know China is difficult to export now with all these tariffs and all these issues. Still you can. And she speaks of how you can also, not just to China, you can export to other parts of the world, okay? There are live webinars which are recorded, you can watch them. And this is about tax, okay? This is Grant Thornton talking about tax. This is Amazon Web Services Managing Director talking about innovation principles of Amazon. A lot to learn there. And if you're interested in SEO, these guys are SEO experts. I interviewed him. We are experts, but I thought I'll interview another expert, okay? These guys are very good. They do SEO for all the big companies across the country, okay? Go and listen to that. So hopefully, a few that I have shared with you that you can use, all right. So there's a, go and talk, the reason I said that is most of those people followed this program, and that's where they got success. And this program is not expensive. It comes with strategy. And you get the NetStripes strategy framework, which if you read this, I won't go through it. You will know how good it is. I don't want to be the one talking about ourselves, because there is somebody from a very knowledgeable person from a very respectable business talking about us. All right. Another thing you must do is to get an expert review on your online advertising. If you're advertising now, stop advertising, because you're coming into a new year. You've got to take stock of everything. We have Thor, who is a digital associate with NetStripes on this program. Talk to Thor. Faith is there. Let Faith or Thor know that you are interested in talking to somebody. And go and jumpstart your business for 2021. It's been a tough year. 2020 has been an absolutely tough year for lots of businesses. But I shared with you how some businesses who have this digital and marketing infrastructure were able to pivot. I only shared with you really one business today, but there are so many businesses I can talk about, okay? But as we know, innovation is something we all want, but changing our habits is tough. okay? Start with that tip I gave you. Put time in your calendar, okay? And talk to people. You can talk to any of our experts. Go and ask them for tips. Ask Thor or Faith, who will help you to connect with them. They won't charge you for the first chat. In half an hour, you can ask a lot of questions. What are the takeaways? What are the takeaways? You have to take something away, right? I want you, most importantly, to imagine the possibilities for your business. I want you to go away, sit down in a corner and reimagine the possibilities for your business. I want you to dream again. A lot of us have got stuck because business is tough. Running a small business is very difficult. And a lot of us, we started business with big vision, with purpose. And because of all the regulatory stuff, serving customers, doing our processes right, with issues with staff, this has become difficult. But go and reimagine the possibilities for your business and just write down 3 things that can help you grow your business. But I want you to write 3 things that can help you to grow exponentially. Even if you don't want to do it, just do that exercise. Just do it because I'm telling you to, asking you to do it. I got a lot of experience helping even very large public listed companies or Aussie businesses and global businesses. This is the same exercise I give them. I've worked with so many small businesses. They find this valuable. At the beginning, some of you may find, I don't want to do it, but please do it. You'll know why. Then I want you to think of futurizing your business. How can I use innovation to futurize my business? I want you to now go and develop 10 more innovation ideas that you can use in the next 24 months. You don't have to use them, just write 10, any idea. I want you to write any idea down. This is brainstorming, okay? And once you write these any ideas down, you can prioritize the ones you think are most doable. Go and talk to somebody. You can talk to our guys. Our experts have MBAs and masters in marketing. They have helped thousands of businesses. Like, I'm not joking. I'm absolutely serious. They have helped, each of our advisors would have helped over 1,000 small businesses. Go and talk to them. And what are the tech drivers you think that'll have an impact in your industry? Out of the ones I shared. Again, you go to YouTube and you can just go and search and you'll find some amazing stories. And I want to think of these lessons, the 3 lessons I said. Inability to change creates regret, okay? I don't want you to, that's the biggest regret businesses have. That's why businesses fail. That's why businesses don't grow as fast. Don't regret, right? Transition your business from traditional ways of doing it to digitally successful businesses. Everything is changing around us. We got to transition, okay? And understand the changes that are happening around. I shared with you some lessons. There's technological changes, there are consumer behavior changes, and that creates opportunities and threats. That digital disruption is about the consumerization of technology and changes in consumer behavior that creates these opportunities and threats. But a lot of people talk about the threats because people are always talking gloom. You listen to the radio or the television, it's always gloom, but think of the opportunities. When people are talking gloom, remember I said earlier, I want you to consider the opportunities. That's a takeaway. How do you act with speed? You need to act with speed. This is lesson number 3. Remember this, act with speed, act with speed. How do you act with speed? Get the knowledge, get it fast. I told you, the Futurized Foundation programs just take 6 hours. In less than a day, you can completely transform your knowledge. And why wouldn't you? And go and listen to all these guys on YouTube who have done it and transform their businesses. You owe it to yourself and then get the right help. And with Futurized Foundation, you get an advisory with one of our experts, okay? And strategize the impact of these changes on your industry and what opportunities it's going to create, as we discussed earlier. There is a formula to achieve success online. There is a formula. There are 2 principles in digital marketing. I'm not doing that today. You need to know that. But I shared with you that 5-step process you need to know. You need to follow this. If you follow this and you stay the course, you've got to stay the course, you will get the result. Now, I can guarantee you that you will get a result. And why would I say that? You need to stay the course and you will get a result, because I've seen so many businesses doing it, but not everybody gets a result. Why? People don't stay the course. All right. So, Futurized Foundation, let me tell you, this is valued at 1,096. That's what we were selling it at. It's because you have lifetime access. It's better than our digital boot camp that people have done, because you have lifetime access. You can do it at your convenience from your home. People have said this is valued more than $3,000. We haven't put that number there because, if you listen to Sonia Fitz on YouTube, she will say that, okay? Now, we, because of COVID value, put it at 596 online. That's our online price. Because of Jumpstart program, all our services are discounted 22%. And NetStripes, for those who know NetStripes, know we don't discount our products. We only have one promotion, and that is at the end of the financial year for a week. But because of COVID, because we wanted people to jumpstart to 2021, people have been asking us to do this, we have done it, okay? And it's a limited time offer. So this is now with the advisory. For those who attend this session, gets it at $298. Faith, if you can share the link for this, that's the link here. If you take a photograph, I don't think you can do it. Faith, are you able to share the link, please? That'll be much appreciated. Let me check whether it is there in the chat. Thank you, Faith. Very nice of you. This is, you check. There's a surprise for you. Go and click on the link. There's a surprise for you. By the way, you get a money back guarantee in 7 days. If you don't like it or if it's not for you, that's fine. No questions asked. You will get your money back. Faith, if you can write the price that is on the offer, go and look at it. This is not on our website, by the way, guys. So go and buy it. I'm not going to be getting too rich by selling Futurized Foundation. There you go. It's even cheaper. Why? Because of Jumpstart 2021. We want businesses to change and transform for 21. Okay. By the way, thank you very much for attending. Our vision is to empower 1 million small and medium enterprises to accelerate their growth, your growth. If we can help you to accelerate your growth, we know for a fact, including Sonia Ray and all these businesses we help, they hire more people. And we believe we can create millions of jobs across the planet. And that's our vision. That's our goal through empowering you. So please go and help your local communities by growing your business, by serving more people, running world-class businesses. Today, for us to do well, we must build world-class businesses. So get your strategy right. Do it the right way. I want to finish off by saying great companies are improved by crisis. A great economist said, never waste a good crisis. So do not waste a good crisis. Use the opportunities that are presented by a crisis. The likes of Warren Buffett, that's what they do. That's why they are so successful. And you can too become successful if you follow a process, like so many other businesses have become. Guys, grow your businesses. We are delighted to have you today. Thank you for coming and take up on this offer. Because of Jumpstart, all our services are 21% discounted. And it won't last so long. Talk to Thor, who is digital associate, or leave a message here and we will assist you. Thank you so much for your participation today. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you join us. Take care, look after yourselves. This is our last webinar for the year. Thank you so much. We've had, as I said, over 4,000 people attending our webinars since COVID happened. A Merry Christmas to you and your families. All the very best for the new year, and have a break. I think everybody deserves a break. Thank you for joining us.